Welcome to Animal Posse, the podcast dedicated to the people and rescues making a difference in the lives of animals. Welcome back, everybody. Today, I'm joined by Rebecca from Helena's Community Cats of SWGA. We'll be talking about the important work her organization does to help community cats and improve the lives of cats throughout their region. Let's dive in.
Mm.
Hi, Rebecca, and thank you for coming on Animal Posse.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
I am looking forward to hear about all the work that you do with community cats with your new 501c3. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get
Mm.
involved with community cats? And if you can tell us a
Okay.
little bit about your nonprofit as well.
Sure. So I have always been an animal lover, and that's going back since I was a kid. And between that and my mom's encouragement to just give back to the community, I started fostering animals years ago, dogs and cats. And found that my dad doesn't care for foster dogs in the house, but has no problem having more cats in the house. So I switched solely to fostering cats. And I moved to Georgia from California a little less than 2 years ago now. And I noticed here where I'm at in Southwest Georgia, there isn't a lot of focus on the cat situation that we've got here. We have quite a lot of animal dumping that happens here. Not a lot of people are spaying and neutering their cats or their dogs. And so surprise litters happen and people just get rid of the puppies. And so I started fostering dogs actually again here because they would just be on the side of the road. But I found that there were plenty of dog rescues. And when I say plenty, they're at their max, just like our humane societies are. But we have them, and I wasn't seeing anyone focused on the cat community and felt like that was an area of opportunity. So decided to take my energy and put it into trying to figure out how to solve the cat problem that we've got here, like I said, in Southwest Georgia. So we've got many colonies of cats, and those are feral cats born into the colonies, as well as dumped cats, which are potentially great for adoption. And so my original inspiration was to be a rescue sanctuary, TNR, get vet services, like really thought I could jump to and solve all of the world's problems and have very quickly realized that I need to start somewhere. And the initial focus is on TNR and then battle babies, kittens that are either abandoned by their mother or taken by a human from the nest that the mother has created and created a situation where a kitten is dependent on humans. That's the initial focus of the nonprofit right now, with grand plans to continue to evolve that over the years as we become known and are successful in grant funds and things of that nature.
When did you start the nonprofit?
Yeah, so we officially started October 2025, and it is Helena's Community Cats of SWGA, which is what we call Southwest Georgia. Helena is my mom's name, and so I did open it in her honor. As I mentioned, was very philanthropic and gave to all kinds of situations. Wasn't necessarily a cat person, which is everyone's first question. Oh, does your mom love cats? But she loved helping, and so decided to do it in her name.
So now I have to ask, since you did come from California and you go to
Yeah.
Georgia. I'm in Louisiana, and the kitten seasons that we have here, it's absolutely brutal right now. Every
Yes.
spring and summer, it is brutal, but this year it just seems even worse than ever. So we have it here because we're so warm in the South. We have constant kitten season. We might get 2 months off, which is usually January, February, and then after that's it. We're back into kitten season. And we're lucky if we get January and February off. How
Yeah.
does Georgia compare to California in terms of the number of cats and kitten seasons and that type of thing?
So I would say Georgia is more aligned with Louisiana. So definitely kitten season is always on. And additionally, in California, there the regulations around just animal control are much stricter or and enforced, maybe. I'm not totally clear on the politics of it all. But I will say you are not getting an animal in California outside of a breeder that isn't spayed or neutered. So whether it's a rescue, whether it's a humane society, wherever the animal is coming from, it you're not going to have an accidental litter in your backyard, and which is just already controlling the pet population more than what we see here, where there isn't a lot of that oversight on animal control. And I just think about Bob Barker in The Price is Right, like, every day now. I'm like, "Please help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered." Because here, I literally see it driving down the road, the impact of not spaying and neutering your animals.
Yeah, and it's funny with the whole thing with Bob Barker and The Price is Right, because when I was a child, that's what my grandparents would watch every single day. So every
Mm.
summer we were watching The Price is Right, and that message really came through. And I think that's why there's so many people that's in my particular age bracket, I'm a Gen Xer, that
Same.
are so pro spay neuter. And I
Mm.
really wish that something like that would come along for future generations because it seems you just don't see it like, especially now, like with the younger people coming up, a lot of them just don't even think about it. They just don't understand why they should do it. Now,
Yeah, and there's a lot of incorrect teachings around it in terms of, "Oh, if you spay, then your female dog is gonna get breast cancer," and I've heard some real crazy things that people have spread incorrectly about what will happen if you do spay or neuter your pet, and it's, "Oh my gosh, can we gotta stop that noise as well."
it's just like a never ending cycle.
I will say that I have noticed that here in Georgia, spaying and neutering is more expensive than in California. So I don't know if there are subsidies that happen in California for that. We're going to finally have a low cost clinic opening here in August. But until then, it's very, in my opinion, expensive to spay like a healthy young animal compared to what you pay on the West Coast.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you too, when you said that California is so much stricter, I
Mhm.
know like here, all, of course, all the rescues, all the shelters here, they are spaying and neutering before they go out the door, unless it's going to a foster. If it's going to a foster, maybe they're too young for spay or neuter, but before they're ever adopted, they are all spayed and neutered. Now, the problem that
Mhm.
we have is people finding kittens and picking the kittens up, which is a whole nother thing. They'll
Mhm.
find the kittens, they'll pick the kittens up, they'll take on to social media to just give them away.
Yes.
And that causes a huge problem here because even as a rescue, I have made the offer to help people, hey, at least let us help you get them spayed or neutered before they go to their new home. Or make the offer, hey, we can take them. And a lot of the times they'll go with somebody else just because it's, "Oh, that person commented first." And
Mm.
just unfortunate because some people might have the intentions of spaying and neutering them, and they don't realize that when they reach 4 months old, they can be reproducing, and so it's like surprise litter, and then other people have 0 intention of spaying and neutering. So, how does California combat that problem, or do you see that happening as well?
So, there's so many things I wanna cover in that area. Before California, but specifically here, we are going to be much more proactive in education. So, I'm connecting in with social groups like the Girl Scouts of America and other groups around town where we can come bring these cute little kittens that I constantly have in my life now, grab the attention of folks, and then teach them about how quickly they have babies and just cat math these people to death so that they can really get it. Because I am one of those people. I was a 19-year-old, had my first 2 cats, and all of a sudden had a pregnant cat, and I had no idea. that before 1 year old, my cat could get each other pregnant. I had no idea, and ended up having 3 kittens that I had to find homes for, and so, luckily, that was enough years ago that I've now had generations of pets that are reproducing accidentally, but you don't know what you don't know, and so I do think education is a huge responsibility, those of us who do know to go out and help spread the good word. I also have been, like you, on social media trying to get my hands on those animals that are out there for free. I'm really concerned about it for 2 reasons. One is the overpopulation, also the potential of using those animals as bait animals in dogfighting. So I just feel compelled to try to get the animals into a safe space, spay and neuter them, and really vet the adopters. So there's a lot going on here that I am trying to get involved in to hopefully help in both of those directions. In California, one of the things on social media with animals is a lot of pages didn't allow, and I actually thought it was a Facebook rule, the gifting or selling of animals on Facebook. And now being here and seeing it, it's not a Facebook rule. It was rules of pages that happened to be based out of California. And so that's one thing. And there just wasn't a pipeline of those animals. Now, California has other ways to get a free animal, like Craigslist, which is definitely a way that you could get an animal that's not going through a shelter or a rescue and therefore not spayed or neutered. But it's a lot harder there to just just to scoop an animal up off the road, which here that is not hard. I could probably go do it right now if I tried. So again, I think there's probably some regulations, and how those regulations are enforced is a big part of it. And I
Yeah.
did talk to the Georgia Department of Ag about that. Not an official, but an employee of the Department of Ag, and asked about the lack of severity in our pet reproduction laws here. And what I was told, and again, not from an official point of view, but just from a person that works there, is that because breeding of animals, whether it's hunting dogs or other working animals in Georgia, that is what's gonna keep those reproduction laws loose as they are, that they're not gonna have if you're in this category, you must spay and neuter, and if you're in this category, you mustn't spay and neuter. And I don't know how much truth there is to that. Again, haven't been here super long, but I am getting more connected with the Humane Society, and if I need to help do any kind of lobbying, I'm happy to get active in that way as well.
Yeah, that's great. And it's great that you're going to be reaching out to all those organizations too. That's actually something that I was thinking of doing myself just because it is such a problem. And at least if you reach the kids or the children, they go
Yeah.
home and sometimes they can be very adamant about things with the parents.
Yes. I've known people who have quit smoking because their kids learned about how bad smoking is in school, and they come home and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna die because you smoke." And parents, you hear that from this little person that you love, it changes your views on things. I just happen to be in a fortunate situation where I, am connected with people who are connected with other people, right? And through whether it's through the Rotary Club or through the Master Gardeners, through University of Georgia, there's just a lot of people that are like-minded in terms of caring about the community, the environment, education of others, and it all comes together in one way, shape, or form. And so it becomes applicable. So whether you're talking to folks about the importance of spaying and neutering cats because of the impact they could have on your bird population, or the importance of spaying and neutering cats because how quickly they can make kittens, and how is your family going to care for those animals? There's a lot of ways to look at how the reproduction process has an impact in our environment.
The area that you're in Georgia, are you in a suburban area? Are you in a rural area?
I think we're rural area. It feels like a suburb, but there's no city, so it's like suburb and then country. So I think that makes it rural, right?
I know in Louisiana, in the more country type areas, that's where we have the least amount of resources and the biggest problem with people dumping pets. In fact,
Yes.
we have country property we were planning to put our sanctuary on, and we're a cat rescue, but our first 3 adoptions were actually dogs because we had puppies dumped on our property.
The reason I didn't become a sanctuary is when I went to the city to actually just to switch the electric bill over to the nonprofit's name for the building that the cats would be in, they said, "Wait a second, we can't have you doing that right now without having somebody on site or at least somebody patrolling 24 hours on site because of animal dumping." And while a lot of people were like, "That's not right. They shouldn't be getting involved with that." I was like, "Oh my goodness, no, I'm glad that they said that," because it didn't actually occur to me that people are gonna say, "Oh, look, animal rescue," and all of a sudden that's a dumping ground, and so all of a sudden you've got these either cats that are running loose that are now either have been rehomed, but they didn't know that they just got rehomed, or dogs running into the street because they just got dumped in the buildings on a busy road. And to me, that's the right thing to do. And until we have enough funds coming in to be able to have 24-hour surveillance, I can appreciate why we are not okay to have a sanctuary in that particular location. I could do it outside the city boundaries, right? Where you're not going to have dogs running into traffic if they're dumped. But now I would not feel good knowing that we're not open on the weekend or something and there could be an animal starving on the doorstep because nobody's there. And really have to think about the impact of people knowing safe place to dump an animal means that somebody's going to have hands on that animal in a quick enough time that it won't be harmed.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I am foster based right now. Our long term
Yeah.
goal is
So
to build a sanctuary up in the country. And but when I say in the country, we're really in the country. Our closest neighbor might be like a mile away. And but still, it's like out where that is, you still see people dumping dogs. There's cats too, but like the dogs, they dump on the side of country roads.
yeah.
It's so sad and it's insane. And you try to look for an owner because you don't know what the situation is, but most of the time they are just dumped. It's an accidental litter. They didn't
Yeah.
want them, so they just dump them. And it is
Yeah.
very sad. And I've seen it too with the rescues that we do have in the city that have physical locations with the amount of
Yeah.
times, and even the shelters, they'll post videos of people dumping animals. And it's really
Yeah.
sad. It really is.
We have a bunch of dog rescues here that are very active, but we have one specifically that the founder is constantly like almost 100% of the time, if someone posts it's peanuts and friends, I don't know why, but that's where if an animal's found or seen or whatever, it's almost always her that is going wherever a dog has been posted and she's picking that dog up and she's picked up just the skinniest, starving dogs. She's picked up beat up dogs that looks like they've been hit by cars, like just all kinds of terrible things. And she's always the one who is rescuing them. And it's amazing. And sure, the full dog rescue kennel, like the whole 9 yards. But we don't have that for cats, which is why I wanted to do the sanctuary with the cats because it's a bit of the same thing where we people are dumping them too. And when you go up to a colony, if you could pick up a cat, that cat probably lived at a house, not hasn't been a colony cat its whole life.
You said you do the bottle babies too.
Yes. So that's what we're focused on. So TNR and bottle baby is the focus until we've got more fosters, like you said, or have the sanctuary in place. We just aren't able to be intake for animals. So we only take bottle babies and then TNR. So I've got three right now on me, literally on my body.
Yeah, I could hear 'em.
Oh, can you? They're not on a bottle anymore. They were when they got here.
Are they in the swimmin' cat food phase, or are they past that?
Yeah, they're about there. They're getting better without all their paws needing to be in the food at the same time. That's what you meant, right?
That's absolutely it. Yeah, they get so messy when they're
Yeah.
learning to eat, and everybody thinks
Oh my
kittens are, like,
gosh.
wonderful, and I'm like, "Kittens are so messy. You have no idea how messy little bottle
Yeah.
kittens are."
It is so funny. I'm like, "What are you doing?" But nope, all the paws are gonna go right in there. And then also, like, the whole space in the food, like, not just the mouth, but just the whole entire thing. It's like watching a human child starts feeding itself, and you're like, "Spaghetti's on the forehead." A good reason, I'm sure, but totally the same thing.
I imagine you have a big problem with the people that kinda catnap the baby kittens too?
Yes, so they think they're helping, bless them. They think that they're doing the right thing. They don't realize that the mom is coming back. And there's a partner organization that is a little bit newer than us, but has been around, the folks have been around the town longer. And we've been partnering in our efforts just because the more the merrier. And they're Southwest Georgia fixers. And we've been trading off who's taking in bottle babies and who's full up kind of thing so far. And when we are able to, between the two of us, talk people down from removing the kittens, it's, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And then we're trying to make sure that once the kittens are weaned, that we will be the ones that get those kittens because we've got the pipeline to PetSmart for adoption or other places to get the kittens out and adopted through vetted partners, and that's the main goal. But people get mad when they find out their cat had kittens. That continues to surprise me. And they take the kittens away because I don't know what they think that's going to do other than put the kittens at risk. But they are like, oh, my cat shouldn't have gotten pregnant. Take these kittens from me. Oh, gosh, that's how it works. But, and then those poor mama cats, what they go through, I can't even imagine. But there's also sometimes good stories. So I have been contacted before. I had a mama cat, a woman had a mama cat whose kittens didn't make it, and she was fully lactating. And I had bottle babies that we put with her, and they took to each other right away. And so that mama cat automatically had two babies, and those two babies didn't have to be bottle babies. So those are fun stories to have too.
Yeah, and that always makes it so much easier too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Do you have an incubator for them, or do you just do, like, the heating pad or the heating disc?
I do a heating pad in a baby playpen, trying to think of the name of it. So they have their heating section and non-heating section. When they're little, eyes closed, still little, they're obviously just on the heating pad. They don't move much, but plenty of space in case they need to.
Yeah, I just got some incubators from a grant that we received. And
Oh,
I will say the incubators I got, they were Arcom Brooder B90s, and I think, but absolute game changer. Because for years I did either the heating disc or the heating pad. And you know how sometimes the kittens will get fussy and it just seems you can
mhm,
do anything to get them to be quiet and they'll just, you could feed them, you can make sure that they have their heat, but they just, for some reason, get
oh,
very fussy. I found with the incubator, you feed them, you make them go to the bathroom, you put them in there, and they're quiet until the next feeding. Yeah,
really?
it is like a total game changer. I never expected that aspect of it. I expected it more to be for the consistent heat. And then if I
Right.
needed to hook up like a nebulizer or something like that to it, then it's contained, which you could use for the kittens with the respiratory or something like that. But
Yeah.
I got it more for the constant heat so that I didn't have to worry about getting up and checking the heating pad or heating up the heating disc or worrying about it being too hot for them. And
Yeah.
I never expected that aspect of it. So I think I'm on my 3rd litter that has been in the incubator, and like I said, total game changer because they get in there and even when they start getting old enough on that, like, kinda 2-week stage where they start playing with each other a little bit, you'll just watch them and
Yeah.
they rolling around in there and they're entertaining themselves, they go to sleep, and they're just
Oh.
so comfortable in it. Absolute game changer.
Well, I will have to look into that because I would do anything to make it more comfortable for them. I thought we'd hit the jackpot with this setup now with the playpen because it just gives them so much space and is a little bit off the floor. So I'm not like getting into a putt pen that's all the way on the floor. And I was like, oh, I'm winning now. If, if there's something even better, then we definitely would want to get it. Although one of the things that we're finding is even to get fosters for the bottle babies, having to get the whole kit of items that they need is so expensive. And so that's a whole nother area of that we're noting of at what age do we do fosters later in the bottle feeding era? Maybe at 4 weeks, they put them with fosters and stick with my friends and I are the ones that just take the itty bitty ones so that we don't have to have all of the special equipment at all foster locations. What's your solution for
We have a very difficult time finding bottle feeders here.
Okay.
We have the people that either don't have time with their jobs, and I understand that. But then you also have the people that are just very scared of bottle feeding. I have tried to do bottle feeding classes. And so
Mhm.
we have had several of those to kind of get people on board and at least introduce people to bottle feeding. Even if they don't do it, at least they know about it.
Yeah.
And we've had quite a few people sign up for those. So that's a good thing. I was thinking of putting together some kind of kit for the people who did want to bottle feed. But as far as fosters, I'll kind of leave it up to them. I will do it to where if they're comfortable taking the litter from bottle feeding to up ready for adoption, then they'll do it that way. There are some people that prefer to just do bottle babies. So for those people, once the kittens are weaned, then what we'll do is put them with another foster.
Okay.
So it really kind of just depends on the foster that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
But I find fosters are in short supply, period. And then when you're talking about trying to find a bottle foster, that's even harder to find.
Yeah, I agree with you that there definitely aren't as many fosters as we would like. Yeah, it's everything. Looking for donations from the people whose eyes glaze over when I say it's for cats versus what about all the children that need something or the dogs or the everything that people put ahead of cats and creating that compelling story to get people to put money in place where for the benefit of cats has been a struggle as well as the foster situation. But the people who love cats really love cats. And those are the people that we're finding for fostering, which always amazing because then you know that somebody's heart is really in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so
Mm.
much for taking the time to speak with me about your endeavor, and I wish you much success on it too.
Yeah, thank you. It's been great talking with you and hearing about what you've got going on in Louisiana as well. And I've been listening to some of the podcasts that you've already have posted, and it's been super informative too. Still being very new to this, every story helps. So I appreciate you being out there and sharing all these great stories from around the country.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you listen to the episodes, there's a lot of people too that are willing to help if you have any questions.
Good.
So if you come across any of them, if you have any kind of questions, you can always reach out to me and I can hook you up with them. But usually we'll put the information in the show notes as well. But
Okay.
I'm so happy that everybody is so into sharing the information. Thanks for listening. And I'm glad to hear that the
Yeah.
episodes are helping you out because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what my goal was.
That's it for today's episode of Animal Posse. If you love what we're doing, please consider becoming a member. Your support directly helps us continue highlighting the people and stories that save lives across the country. Just a quick reminder, the views and opinions expressed by our guests are theirs alone and are provided for entertainment purposes. They don't necessarily reflect the official position of the show, and this information should never replace the advice of your own veterinarian. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bars in the night, claws in the fight, whiskers twitch and tails take flight. They're calling in stories to spin from the wild to the heart. The vet's got tips, the rescuer's grit, the foster homes where love won't quit. From a pup in the rain to a bird in pain, every soul's worth the strain. Animal Posse, hear the call. We stand together, big and small. Rescue tales, we've got it all. Animal Posse, saving them all. Every caller tells a tale, every howl a whispered wail. We rise up, we never fail. This is the bond, the holy grail. Animal Posse, hear the call. We stand together, big and small. Rescue tales, we've got it all. Animal Posse, saving them all. Every caller tells a tale, every howl a whispered wail. We rise up, we never fail. This is the bond, the holy grail.